Hello, Commissioner Williams. I call to order the Township of Aleppo Commissioners meeting of September 20th, 2021 to order. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
President Jones.
Present.
Vice President Williams.
All present.
Commissioner Darrow. Commissioner Darrow.
Commissioner Dara.
Okay, he's there.
Present by phone.
I heard him.
I
heard him.
Commissioner Richard.
Present.
Commissioner Haluka.
Present.
Solicitor Stone.
I'm here.
Manager Patterson.
Here.
I'm here by phone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
I knew that.
We're going to move the agenda around a little bit tonight, so stay tuned. Let's see. Do I hear a motion to approve the September 13th, 2021
Motion to approve
workshop
September
meeting minutes?
13th, 2021 workshop meeting minutes.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Chief, can we move you up to this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, good evening, everyone.
Evening.
For the month of August, we had a total of 71 calls, 34 were EMS assists, a few alarms with businesses and residential alarms. We had 11 traffic citations issued and 1 non-traffic citation issued, probably for an ordinance complaint. Other than that, I say it every time, just recently we took a possible theft from a vehicle, unlocked vehicle up in the manor, but we're still investigating to see if it actually occurred there. Person's not sure. If you have anything valuable in your car, take it out in the evening, lock your vehicles each night. You live in a great area, nice neighborhood, but things do happen, right? So just as always, I always try to remind people of that. Lock your doors. Right? Other than that, pretty quiet August. We just had the last I-79 closure. I was discussing with Township Manager. She hasn't reported any other issues, any complaints about traffic or anything like that through Aleppo, which is outstanding. If my information is correct, there should be one more closure coming up next month. I don't have those dates yet, but then that should be it for this year. Next year again, they'll be shutting down I-79 southbound, and we'll have to adjust for that. Anything for me? Any questions,
Are
concerns?
the traffic citations primarily speeding?
Yes, some speeding, some registration issues, I believe, a couple inspection, along with the secondary citations issued from a speeding complaint.
Any other questions for the chief?
None.
No.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Everyone have a nice night.
Stay safe.
Fire?
Meeting tonight.
Quaker Valley Cog.
So, go ahead, come up. This is Patrick Connors, the new executive director.
Yeah, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Patrick Connors, Executive Director for the Quaker Valley Councils of Government. So this is my return to the area. I did work in Edgeworth Borough for about two and a half years. Then I went to Washington County and worked for South Strabane Township as their assistant manager out there before this job here. So just one of my goals in the first few months here is just to introduce myself to all the staff. I had a chance to work here for 3 or 4 days with Glenn just to hang out and get to know what operations and what I can do to help you guys out. And I want to introduce myself to each elected official. It took a little bit longer just because all these meetings take the same day. So just trying to get these sprinkled in when I can. So I want to thank you guys for having me here today. Our meetings are open to the public. We have it over Zoom, kind of a similar setup here. So I definitely encourage you if you're interested in what we're doing. I have an executive director's report, and additionally, anyone can attend our meetings too. So a couple of things I wanted to touch base on real quick, just to let you guys know what's going on. In Sewickley Borough, there's going to be a glass recycling event, similar to what you guys had out here. It starts on September 25th in the Riverfront Park. It'll be through September 30th. So it's open to the public, similar to yours. Again, the more participation we get, I think the more leverage we'll have in negotiating a deal with PRC to have a permanent solution for our glass somewhere in the cog. And that's definitely one of our goals in the first quarter of next year is to establish it somewhere. There's a couple locations we have in mind. Just trying to figure out the details as far as security and making sure that we have a solution that works for all 15 members. Also, I see on the agenda the garbage contract's going to be up for discussion. I'll be happy to answer any questions to the best of my ability when that comes up on the agenda. And one more thing I wanted to touch base on. So last week, actually, the Gaming, Economic Development, and Tourism Fund, so that's all the casinos and all the money that they get through that, the county takes off a bit of that money and puts it into a fund for grants. So these are bigger projects. Any municipality can apply. So it's something I want to get as many applications for our COG as possible. These are larger projects, $250,000 and more. Eligible activities include economic development, infrastructure development projects, job training, community improvement projects, which includes recreational activities, public safety projects, and public interest projects. All pretty broad, but it's something that I think any community can probably fit something in there, right? So I want to get as many of these applications as we can. It's going to be through the first week of October, October 22nd. That's the deadline for that. So again, any ideas, any projects you guys have in mind, I'd be happy to work with Gwen and staff to just get an application there to see if we can get more money into our COG. With that, I'd just be happy to answer any questions or.
I have 3 quickies. Are
Yeah.
records kept of the amount of glass collected, where it goes, and the revenue generated?
So I do have the number for Aleppo. I can get that to Gwen tomorrow.
Yeah, just, in the garbage contract, there were 3 or 4 weeks in a row where they were late with the recycling or missed the recycling. And in the contract, there's really no penalty for that. It addresses that. Is that a labor shortage problem, or was that discussed at all?
Yeah, so waste management missed pickups, that's a universal thing. I can definitely attest to that being in Edgeworth. But the nice thing about this new contract is there is language to, like a carrot and stick approach, right? Whenever they don't follow through on what they're supposed to do, whether it's missed pickup and not going back to pick up those materials, or unannounced just not showing up, whatever the case might be, there's a system set up that there's a fund that they have to give the COG, and then every time they don't follow through with those, we dock them. And,
Okay, good.
there's a penalty system. So actually Wednesday this week, I'll be meeting with Mike Christ and the president of the COG to go over that system. And it's going to be 100% based on communication, right? So, you guys relay the concern to Waste Management and then document that to us. And then once a month that we can work with them to make sure that they're held accountable for the services that they didn't provide.
Good. Let's see. Anything else for the COG?
No, other than the fact I've been to 2 of their meetings, one of which was the GIS. And Patrick, I like the tone of your meetings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for coming. Oh, I had one other thought. Are there any weaknesses that Aleppo needs to overcome or strengths that we should emphasize when we apply for grants? Over the years, we haven't been terribly successful at getting grants. Didn't know whether it was the demographic, the economic statistics, but have you analyzed within the communities of the COG weaknesses and strengths, things that need to be addressed?
I think it's a great town. You guys have a great staff. The one thing, and it's with all 15 towns, right? So I want to build routine into these grant writing opportunities. A lot of them, it's just routine. So with the CDBG grants, a lot of it is income based, but at the same time, there's segments of it like accessibility projects for ADA or like blight that anybody can apply to. So I just want to get as many of our towns involved in that, and it's just a once a year thing where one little project here and one little project there, it adds up. So I think everything's great in Aleppo though. So happy to work with you guys, and any questions at all, I'll be happy to answer them moving forward.
I'm going to delay the next one also, Gwen.
Okay.
I'd like to go to tax collector treasurer.
Well, good evening, everybody. You should have a report in your packets for the month of August 2021. plugging up here. As you can see, we collected taxes of $359.72 for the month of August. On pages 3 and 4 gives you all the graphics as far as where we stand compared to last year. We're about 18,000 over from last year's monthly number. We're still doing well compared to the budget, as you can see. But now that we're coming towards the end of the year, a lot of these things will start to slow down and just slowly trickle in. Obviously, earned income tax will be the one that'll kind of keep coming through, but the rest of them seem to be somewhat status quo now. The other part of the report is the ending account balances for the month of August. So the PNC checking account has $735,067.12. And then we have our investment funds with the Pliget with the state. So you have the liquid fuels fund at $66,583.47. The general investment, which is a savings account, $964,440.56. The reserve fund of $112,705.13. And then the capital improvement fund of $899,754.28. So total monies on hand right now is around $2,778,550.56. However, some of that money is targeted and pledged for various things throughout the community. So our net operating funds are $1,699,507.68. I also provided the sewer bond accounts so that you have that as well. The capital account, which only has $34.68 in it, but the bond account, which really deals with our debts, $552,316.84. Any questions about any of the account balances or taxes?
I have one general question.
Yep.
Pliget was sold to whom I can't recall, where we have a lot of our investment monies.
I know it's all through the state, so,
Was Pliget sold or a different branch of PFM?
right.
I didn't get
Different
it.
branch.
Yeah.
At any rate, Gwen and I wondered if this was a time to perhaps consider alternatives to where we have our money. Not that we're unhappy,
No.
but have you ever looked at other alternatives and their performance?
I have not at this time.
Is that possible for you to do?
Yeah, I can take a look into it.
Good,
I mean, I need to know if there's any stipulations, things that
right.
would prevent us from certain things.
Just give it a look.
Yep, I would definitely do it.
All right, any other questions for this tax collector? Then what I would like to do
Thanks.
is I'd like to move into executive session at 7:15. Our solicitor has something he must attend to.
Okay, did I? No.
So we are back in session at 7:25.
Yes, I did.
Emergency management.
No report.
Now we're going to go back to number 6, the motion to approve the draft of the second amended service agreement. Do I hear a motion to that effect?
I motion to approve the draft of the second amended service agreement for sewage treatment services and authorize drafts to be submitted to the Borough of Swiftly for their review.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Then I'd like to move to C11, the motion to adopt the resolution entering into the waste management contract.
I motion to adopt the resolution entering into a 5-year contract with Waste Management for solid waste, recycling, and household hazardous and e-waste collection services.
Second.
And Gwen, as stated before, there was a minor increase, which is to be anticipated, and then 4% per year for the next 5 years.
The first year is a 16% increase, and then just from the old contract, and then it's 4% per year after that.
And Patrick, for the public's knowledge, there wasn't much negotiation available because 2 bids, one was 5 million more than the other.
Yeah, so the second bid was much, much higher. We were hoping for maybe 3 or 4 bids, but participation was down. I think the labor market, the shortage of drivers really played a role in that. Just hearsay, we heard that one of the bidders didn't bid because of that exact reason. So I think the reaction we saw from Waste Management at the actual bid opening, I think we got a pretty good bargain, what it could have been. We were expecting an increase, but no increase is great, but compared to what the other option was, pretty good deal.
And I think in general, they do a great job.
I agree. Yeah.
And I'm happy to hear that you'll have monthly meetings with them to discuss how they can do an even better job.
Yeah, and I'll probably be sending Gwen an email tomorrow morning, just inviting her to hop on that call with us, so that way she can relay any questions you guys might have. It's just something we want to hash out the details as far as the communication plan between municipalities and the actual hauler itself. So.
Thank you. Public Works?
Can you vote on that?
Pardon me?
Can you vote on that contract?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion approved. Public Works?
No, Tim's away and no report.
Communications?
None that I'm aware of.
We'll deal with the one during citizen participation.
Sure.
Planning and zoning?
Just an update that we are still working, the planning commission is still working through the updates to the zoning ordinance. It's an ongoing process. We had a long staff meeting to go through more uses, so nothing to really hand out yet. We're still working through the details of it, but once we get to a point where we're starting to have a draft of some sort, we'll be sharing that beforehand, and there'll be public hearings. And then the only other thing that I know of for next month, we've been contacted, and Mike Minnock submitted the development plan a year ago and got it approved. Did not have something in place and was unable to get it recorded, so next month you'll probably have a reapproval for date reasons on the agenda. That's where I think that's headed.
Are the issues of fracking, mini towers, I forget the other one, renting of homes, et cetera, are they?
They're on the list
are
of
on
things
the-
that we're gonna tackle.
They're being addressed?
Yep.
Things that have just been on the table for 3 or 4 years. Okay. Finance, do I hear a motion to approve the August bill list, et cetera?
Motion to approve the August bill list in the amount of $49,657.54. Ratify August prepaid bills in the amount of $13,538.71. And to ratify August payroll transfers in the amount of $24,065.16.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Do I hear a motion to accept the 2022 police pension, et cetera?
So moved.
Good enough, Patty?
I'll read it out. For the motion to accept the 2022 police pension MMO in the amount of $16,397 and the 2022, that was hard, non-uniform
Maybe so,
MMO in the amount of $13,818.
there a second?
I will second both of those.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Aleppo Township Authority. Dan, any report?
No report.
Thank you. Quaker Valley Ambulance Authority.
No report.
Thank you. Any unfinished business? Any new business? Any citizens participating, Dave?
Nope.
Gwen, would you read in the
Sure.
one email that we received?
I got a phone call today from someone, a representative of the board at the manor, asking about the status of the potential emergency exit from the manor neighborhood. And I let him know that, was before COVID, I think, right, when we had been talking about this and we had gotten something of a proposal together. We hadn't even submitted it yet, we just talked about it here. And, two of the residents who live along that private driveway that we were considering accessing, came in to see me separately, and a third one called. All very strongly opposed to the idea of having anybody access that other than the residents. It's private, they pay for it, they had other concerns. So that was probably right before COVID, and then we just kind of, we just let it sit. So I told the caller today that there was no update, that we just hadn't pursued it any further. And so I think it sounded like that the manor was gonna talk amongst themselves and maybe approach the township with their, collected thoughts on the matter. So we may be hearing from them in the future.
Did they have a concern of not having an exit?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. He asked a lot of questions about, well, what about if one person's having a medical incident? And I said, they'll get out.
That actually originated
I'm sorry,
with
what
me
person?
many years ago, Amy. When I first took over as emergency management coordinator, I did a review of the township in general, which is required. And that egress was a concern that came up from the manor. And that kind of is where it had its birth. And then it was kind of tabled because of access issues. The board at the time at the manor kind of wasn't really into it. And so it kind of died. And then it was brought up again by a newer board. And it kind of came back on our radar a little bit. Gwen was looking for places to put it. It became kind of a project of Michelle's, I believe, to try to get that through. And then it kind of died before COVID, and we really didn't want to step on the toes of private. I mean, there is never a time that we cannot get a single medical patient out of anywhere. I mean, I'll just say that publicly. The concern that we had about an egress would be a mass incident such as what happened with the accident with Kim. If that had happened across Swickley Heights Drive, we would have had a prolonged time period where there was no one get out of Swickley Heights. It's never a risk, can you get a single person, because we would make a right away.
Right.
We would go through yards, we would go through whatever we needed to do.
Yeah, I would imagine, a concern would exist to have a plan, but again, I'm not a resident there either to know what the level of concern was or.
And I did explain that single patient. I
Yeah.
said, don't worry, they'll drive over
Yeah.
whatever they need
Oh,
to drive over to
absolutely.
get there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
ATVs, everything, a single patient will get
Yeah,
out. So
right.
that wasn't the concern, for that person not to worry about that.
Right, the concern is egress for a community.
A larger, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, any other discussion? Gwen, would you also read for the public the invitation to the electric car event?
I don't have it in front of me, but I will say that there is an electric car event coming up at some point. I did not bring that in here.
The 25th, Saturday the 25th?
I
Saturday?
believe it's the 25th.
At the Sewickley Y.
From noon to 5, food trucks, etc., an electric car parade, followed by some informational booths and discussions with current owners. I know that it has been planned for quite a while, and I think participation would be valuable to anybody that attends.
What's the date?
Saturday, September 25th.
Did you have something?
Right.
I'm pretty, yeah.
Yes,
Real quick, I forgot to mention.
please.
The Quaker Valley COG annual dinner will be held on October 20th at the Edgeworth Club. So we are going to be promoting that this week. I haven't sent out the flyers just because there's a few little details like the dinner courses and all that stuff, and I want to make sure it's all done. So
Those
keep
are
it.
important details.
Yes. So just keep an eye on that. I'll be sending those to Gwen this week, probably maybe tomorrow or Wednesday. And feel free to reach out with any questions. But really excited for the event. I think it'd be great to have everyone get together again, and it should be a pretty nice venue too. So thanks again for having me tonight.
Yep.
Look forward to working with you all.
Oh, thank you.
Anything else? Then do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? We are adjourned.